An estimated 1.3 million people will lose their emergency unemployment benefits when they expire this Saturday. The extended benefits were left out of a bipartisan budget deal this month because of strong Republican opposition. Now, one progressive group has taken out a television ad accusing Republicans of protecting the rich and punishing the longtime unemployed.
You know who had a Merry Christmas? The richest 1%. That's who. Republicans in Congress made sure of that, protecting billions in taxpayer giveaways. And for those facing tough times, Republicans stripped 1.3 million Americans of jobless benefits, folks who want to work but cannot find a job, kicking them to the curb during Christmas.
Suzy Khimm is MSNBC.com's national reporter. Let's start here. First of all, how did these unemployment benefits come about, and why are they expiring now after they were extended, I think, 11 times by Congress?
Yeah. So originally, these federal unemployment benefits, which kick in after state benefits expire, which is generally 26 weeks, started in 2008, just as we were about to hurtle into the financial crisis and the recession thereafter. So since then, they've actually have been scaled back progressively. They're shorter. They're less generous than they used to be. But they are a temporary measure. They are emergency measures. So Congress has had to go back time and again to extend them. However, this time was different. Congress decided not to include them in this budget bill that passed, and then they left for recess, and so that's why we're in this position that we're in now.
Democrats say that that extending these is going to be a priority. We know that if that happens, Republicans are more than likely going to want some sort of concession. What might a compromise resemble?
So I actually was just on the phone earlier today with Congressman Sandy Levin and Senator Jack Reed, both Democrats who are really leading the push for this. Basically, they are proposing, and they have a bill lined up for initial vote on January 6th, a 3-month extension that would not be paid for. They have the support of Senator Dean Heller, who's a Republican. That would not be paid for. That would not be paid for. So it would just be, straight up extension. Senator Dean Heller, who's a Republican, is from Nevada, where there's the highest unemployment in the country, is supporting this extension. And so the argument is basically, let's do that first, and then we can talk about what we're going to pay for this. And the pay for is not going to be an easy, straightforward thing to find, as we've discovered before in these kind of fiscal negotiations.
What are politically here, what are the benefits of opposing extending unemployment benefits?
So there's actually a new poll that was commissioned by Employment Law Project, an advocacy group, that shows that basically there is a small but vocal minority, I think it's about 20% or so, who very firmly support ending the benefits, that they are sort of, you imagine these folks sort of being at the core of some part of the conservative base who do feel very strongly about this. However, the poll also found that overwhelmingly Americans do support this. Americans across all regions of the country, genders, economic classes, and basically the political indication is that this is in their favor. If they want Americans to support them, they should go on and support the extending the benefits.
Really quickly here, Suzy, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but that's not going to stop me from asking. How much, and I know it varies depending on your state, the size of these checks, what are we talking about here?
We're really just talking, I mean, I think on average it's a couple of $100s a week. It is. There was a woman who is on this press call earlier. She's an unemployed woman who's 57. She's in Rhode Island. Basically, the check is 1/3 of what she made at her old job. It's barely enough to keep her basically meeting her mortgage, meeting her basic needs. Basically, if you have a job, any kind of job that is paying a regular wage, you would prefer to have that over these benefits. They're just supposed to be sort of the safety net before to keep people from really just hitting rock bottom.
MSNBC.com's Suzy Khimm. Always good to see you. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Craig.